2026 is not coming to save you. 2026 is waiting for you to step up. Read that slowly, because this year will treat you exactly the way you treat it. Most people will enter 2026 hoping something changes while doing the same things they did before. Same habits, same delays, same excuses dressed up as reasons. And when the year ends, they will say, time moved too fast. The truth is, they never moved at all. Be honest with yourself for a second. How many times have you said, this will be my year, and then watched months disappear? Not because you didn't care, but because daily life took over. Work, stress, distraction, comfort. It happens to everyone, but it doesn't have to decide your story again. 2026 can be your year if you choose to live it awake, if you stop waiting for motivation, if you stop delaying the life you keep thinking about, if you start treating your days like they matter, because they do. This is not hype. This is not fantasy. This is about real change built through daily choices. Quiet effort, honest discipline, the kind that doesn't look impressive online, but changes who you become. Stay with this, not because it sounds good. Stay because 2026 can be the year you finally stop repeating and start becoming. Number 1, decide that 2026 changes everything. Sit with this thought for a moment, because it matters more than most people realize. A year does not change a life on its own. A calendar does not fix anything. Time does not rescue anyone. People change their lives when they decide to change how they think and how they act. That is where everything begins. Not with hope, not with wishing, with a decision. A clear decision. A personal decision. A serious decision. Decide that 2026 changes everything. Most people drift into a new year without direction. They say they hope things get better. They say they want more money, more peace, more confidence, more health. But hope without decision has no power. Wanting without action leads nowhere. The year responds only to those who respond to it. If you enter 2026 the same way you entered past years, nothing new will happen. Same habits lead to same results. Same thinking creates same outcomes. That is not punishment. That is simply how life works. A decision is different from a wish. A decision draws a line. It says this year, I stop doing what hurts me. This year, I start doing what builds me. This year, I take responsibility even when it feels uncomfortable. This year, I stop blaming my past, my parents, my boss, my luck, my mood. Responsibility is heavy, but it is powerful. The moment you accept responsibility, you gain control. And control is where confidence begins. Think about how many years passed without you becoming who you knew you could become. That feeling in your chest when you look back and realize time moved, but you stayed the same. That quiet disappointment nobody else sees. That inner voice that says, you know better. That voice is not there to shame you. It is there to wake you up. Ignoring it costs you your future. Listening to it changes your life. Deciding that 2026 changes everything means you stop negotiating with your excuses. Tired is not a reason. Busy is not a reason. Fear is not a reason. Everyone is tired. Everyone is busy. Everyone feels fear. The difference between those who change and those who stay stuck is not talent or luck. It is decision followed by discipline. Small actions repeated daily. Nothing fancy, nothing dramatic, just steady effort. People often wait for motivation. Motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes. Discipline stays. Decision creates discipline. When you decide you do not need to argue with yourself every morning, the decision is already made. You wake up knowing what kind of person you are building. That clarity reduces stress. It removes confusion. It gives direction to your day. Deciding that 2026 changes everything also means understanding that growth feels uncomfortable. If you feel uncomfortable while changing, that does not mean something is wrong. It means something is working. Comfort keeps people average. Growth requires effort. Improvement requires patience. Progress requires time. There is no shortcut around this. Accept it. and you free yourself from frustration. You cannot control the world, but you can control your choices. You can control how you spend your mornings. You can control what you eat. You can control what you watch. You can control how you speak to yourself. These small choices shape your future more than any big event ever will. Success is not one big moment. It is daily behavior. When you decide that 2026 changes everything, you stop waiting for permission. You stop waiting for approval. You stop waiting for someone to save you. Nobody is coming, and that is good news, because it means your life is in your hands. Power feels heavy at first, but it builds strength over time. There will be days when you feel like quitting. Those days are normal. Do not panic when they arrive. Do not judge yourself. Do not quit. Quitting turns temporary pain into permanent regret. Staying consistent turns temporary discomfort into long-term pride. Pride comes from keeping promises to yourself. Confidence grows when your actions match your word. Think about the person you want to become by the end of 2026. Not what you want to own, not what you want others to see. Who you want to be when nobody is watching. Stronger, calmer, more focused, more disciplined, more honest with yourself. That person is built through daily decisions, not big speeches, not perfect plans, simple follow-through. Deciding that 2026 changes everything also means accepting that progress is not perfect. Some weeks will go well, some will not. Missing one day does not ruin your year. Quitting does. Forgive quickly, correct fast, move forward. Momentum matters more than perfection. People underestimate how much their life can change in 1 year when they commit. 1 year of better habits can repair confidence. 1 year of learning can increase income. 1 year of discipline can restore health. 1 year of focus can rebuild self-respect. But none of this happens accidentally. It happens by decision. Decide that this year you will act like your future matters. Decide that you will no longer treat your potential casually. Decide that you will do the simple things daily, even when they feel boring. Boring actions create exciting results. Exciting actions rarely last. When you decide that 2026 changes everything, you also decide to protect your energy. Not every argument deserves your attention. Not every opinion deserves your reaction. Not every invitation deserves your time. Energy is limited. Spend it on what builds your future. Look at your daily routine honestly, not emotionally. Honestly, does it support the life you want or the life you are stuck in? Routine decides direction. Change the routine and the direction changes automatically. Wake up earlier, eat cleaner, read daily, move your body, plan your day, speak kindly to yourself. These are not secrets, they are choices. People often say they want confidence. Confidence is earned. It is earned through kept promises. Small promises kept daily build trust with yourself. When you trust yourself, you walk differently. You speak differently. You think differently. Others feel it. Opportunities respond to it. Deciding that 2026 changes everything means you stop living on autopilot. You pay attention. You notice pattern. You catch yourself before falling into old habits. Awareness creates control. Control creates progress. This year will test you. Every meaningful year does. Tests are not punishment. They are proof that growth is happening. Rise to the test instead of running from it. Each challenge you face builds strength. You cannot gain any other way. At the end of 2026, you will look back. That moment will come whether you prepare or not. The question is how you will feel. Proud or disappointed. Calm or frustrated. Strong or that feeling is being shaped right now by what you decide today. Decide clearly. Decide firmly. Decide without drama. Decide that 2026 changes everything. Then act like it. Every day, even when nobody is watching. Especially when nobody is watching. That is how lives change. That is how years become turning points. That is how ordinary people create extraordinary results. Through ordinary discipline. Applied consistently. The future does not belong to the lucky. It belongs to the decide. Number 2. Leave old patterns behind without excuses. If 2026 is truly going to be your year, then something has to be left behind. You cannot carry the same habits, the same thinking, the same reactions, and expect a different result. Life does not work that way. Growth demands subtraction before it allows addition. Before you add better results, better income, better health, better peace, you must remove what keeps pulling you backward. That begins with old patterns. Not bad luck, not other people. Pattern. Most people know exactly what their old patterns are. Staying up late when they promise themselves rest, putting things off until pressure forces action, eating what feels easy instead of what feels right, avoiding difficult conversation, repeating the same mistakes, and calling them circumstances. These patterns do not disappear on their own. They stay because they are tolerated. Change begins the moment tolerance ends. Leaving old patterns behind does not require drama. It requires honesty, brutal honesty with yourself. You must be willing to say this is not working, and I am the one repeating it. That sentence alone carries power. It returns control to your hands. When you accept that your patterns created your current results, you also accept that new patterns can create new ones. Excuses keep patterns alive. Excuses feel comforting because they remove responsibility. They sound reasonable. They even sound smart. But excuses are expensive. They cost time. They cost self-respect. They cost momentum. The price is always paid later. When you remove excuses, you remove delay. Progress speeds up when justification stops. Many people confuse understanding their past with living in it. Understanding is useful. Living there is not. Your history can explain your behavior, but it cannot excuse it anymore. Awareness without action is wasted insight. If you know better, then it is time to do better. Not perfectly, consistently. Old patterns often feel familiar. Familiar does not mean good. Familiar means repeated. The brain prefers what it knows, even when it hurts. That is why change feels uncomfortable at first. Discomfort is not danger. It is a signal that a new path is being formed. Stay with it. Do not retreat just because it feels strange. Leaving old patterns behind also means changing how you speak to yourself. Internal talk becomes external behavior. If you constantly tell yourself that you always fail, you train yourself to stop trying. If you tell yourself that you are learning, you stay engaged. Language matters because words shape identity. Identity shapes action. People often wait for a clean moment to change. A new week, a new month, a new mood. Change does not wait for convenience. It begins in ordinary moments. When you choose differently in the same situation, that is where power is built. Same place, new response. Old patterns show up most when you are tired, stressed, or emotional. That is not a weakness. That is a warning sign. Those moments require structure. Routines protect you. When willpower is low, prepare for yourself. Do not expect discipline to appear under pressure. Build systems that support better choices automatically. Leaving old patterns behind means accepting short-term discomfort for long-term relief. Old habits offer short comfort and long pain. New habits offer short effort and long reward. The trade is clear. What changes is your willingness to endure the beginning. The beginning is always harder than the continuation. You cannot change everything at once, and you do not need to. Focus beats force. Pick one pattern that causes the most damage and deal with it first. Progress in one area builds confidence in others. Momentum is real. Use it. Some patterns are linked to people. Not everyone can come with you into a better year. This is not about cutting people off with anger. It is about choosing environments that support growth. If you keep returning to places that encourage your worst habits, you will waddle to keep your best intentions. Leaving old patterns behind also means learning to pause. Most damage happens in rushed moments. Pause before reacting. Pause before quitting. Pause before saying yes. That pause creates space. Space creates choice. Choice creates change. You may feel guilt for not changing earlier. Guilt is useless. It looks backward and drains energy. Responsibility looks forward and creates action. Drop the guilt. Pick up responsibility. Today is enough. Patterns are reinforced by repetition. So are new ones. Do not underestimate the power of doing one small thing daily. Small does not mean weak. Small means repeatable. Repeatable becomes reliable. Reliable becomes transformative. When excuses disappear, clarity appears. You stop asking, why is this happening to me, and start asking, what am I doing about it? That question changes behavior immediately. It shifts you from victim to builder. Leaving old patterns behind does not mean you will never struggle again. It means you struggle smarter. You recover faster. You recognize warning signs earlier. Growth is not the absence of challenge. It is improved response. Your future self depends on what you stop tolerating today. Tolerance is a quiet decision. Every time you accept a behavior that hurts you, you reinforce it. Every time you interrupt it, you weaken it. Weak patterns fade when they are not fed. There will be moments when the old way calls you back. That is normal. Familiar paths do not disappear overnight. When that moment comes, remind yourself why you chose differently. not with emotion, with clarity. You are building a different life. That requires different behavior. Leaving old patterns behind also means celebrating progress quietly, not with reward that pulls you backward, with acknowledgement. Notice effort. Notice follow through. That awareness strengthens commitment. Most change fails because people try to feel different before acting different. Action comes first, feelings follow. Do not wait to feel ready. Act ready. Readiness grows through movement. You are not starting from zero. You have experience. You have lessons. You have awareness. You did not have before. Use them. The past is valuable when it becomes instruction, not identity. As 2026 unfolds, you will be faced with familiar choices. Same moment, different response. That is where the year is won. Not in grand decisions, in quiet ones, daily ones. Leave old patterns behind without excuses. Not because someone told you to, because you are tired of repeating what no longer serves you. Because your future deserves better habits. Because discipline today creates freedom tomorrow. Because change is possible when excuses are not invited into the conversation. This is how real change begins. Not with pressure, with choice. Not with perfection, with commitment. Old patterns leave when new standards arrive. Set the standard, then live up to it one day at a time. Number 3, take ownership of every single day. Every life is built one day at a time. Whether a person pays attention to it or not, days are not neutral. They either move you forward or quietly pull you backward. Taking ownership of every single day is where real control begins. Not control over everything, but control over what truly belongs to you. Your choices, your effort, your attitude, your focus. Many people talk about wanting a better year, but they treat their days casually. They wake up without intention. They react instead of decide. They allow distractions to run the schedule. Then they wonder why weeks disappear without progress. Days are the building blocks of a year. If the blocks are weak, the structure cannot stand. Ownership starts the moment you wake up. Not when the day goes well. Not when conditions are perfect. The day does not owe you anything. You owe the day your best effort. When you take ownership, you stop saying this day happened to me and start saying this day belongs to me. That shift changes how you move through the hours. Taking ownership does not mean forcing productivity every minute. It means being awake to your responsibility. How you begin the morning matters. How you speak to people matters. How you respond to stress matters. How you end the evening matters. These moments stack, they form direction. Most people give their best to their job and leftovers to their life. Ownership reverses that thinking. Your life deserves first attention. When you care for yourself properly, your work improves naturally. Energy increases. Focus sharpens. Patience grows. Each day brings choices that seem small but are not. Getting up when the alarm rings. Eating food that supports energy. Moving your body even briefly. Reading instead of scrolling. Planning instead of drifting. These are ownership decisions. They may not feel heroic, but they are powerful. Ownership also means refusing to hand your mood to circumstances. Traffic does not control your character. Weather does not control your discipline. Other people do not control your standards. You can feel emotions without being ruled by them. Emotional maturity is not suppression. It is direction. When a day goes poorly, ownership becomes even more important. Blame offers comfort, but no solution. Responsibility offers progress. Saying today was not great, but I can still choose one good action, keeps momentum alive. Salvaging a day builds strength. Many people live as if days are practice runs. They wait for a future moment to get serious. Life does not announce when it becomes important. Importance is assigned by how you treat now. The way you treat today teaches your mind what matters. Taking ownership means planning before the day plans you. Even a simple plan creates structure. Structure reduces stress. When you know what matters, distractions lose power. Time becomes an ally instead of an enemy. Ownership is also about finishing the day with awareness. Ask yourself what went well, what needs adjustment. No judgment, just observation. Reflection turns turts into wisdom. Without reflection, days repeat. With reflection, days improve. People often think ownership requires big changes. It starts with small discipline. Small discipline practiced daily becomes strong character. Strong character creates opportunity. Opportunity rewards preparation. You cannot own yesterday, and you cannot borrow tomorrow. Today is the only place power exists. When you fully step into today, anxiety about the future decreases. Regret about the past loosens its grip. Presence brings peace. Taking ownership of every single day also means protecting your attention. Attention is your most valuable resource. Where it goes, your life follows. Constant distraction fragments progress. Choose chair you place focus. Guard it intentionally. Ownership means showing up even when energy is low. Low energy days still count. Consistency matters more than intensity. Showing up maintains identity. Identity drives long-term change. Your daily standards define your future limits. Raise the standard of how you speak to yourself. Raise the standard of what you tolerate. Standards shape behavior quietly. When you own your day, you stop waiting for motivation. You rely on commitment. Commitment carries you through moods. Motivation arrives later as a result of action. Ownership also requires forgiveness. Some days will fall short. Do not punish yourself and lose momentum. Learn, adjust, continue. Progress is built through resilience, not perfection. Taking ownership changes how you see time. Minutes gain value. Hours gain purpose. Even rest becomes intentional. Intentional rest restores instead of distracts. The world will always offer reasons to disengage. Noise, drama, comfort. Ownership means choosing direction anyway. It means being deliberate in a distracted environment. Over time, something powerful happens. You begin to trust yourself. Trust builds confidence. Confidence invites growth. Growth expands possibility. This chain begins with daily ownership. At the end of a year, people remember moments. These moments are created by days lived consciously. Ordinary days handled well create extraordinary results. Quietly, take ownership of every single day, not because it is easy, but because it is effective, because no one else can do it for you, because your future is shaped by how seriously you treat now. Today is not just another day. It is a vote for the person you are becoming. Cast that vote with intention, then do it again tomorrow. That is how change becomes permanent. Number 4. Stop delaying the life you want. Most people do not reject the life they want. They postpone it. They delay it quietly. They tell themselves, not now. Maybe later, when things calm down, when money improves, when confidence shows up, when time opens up. Delay sounds harmless, but it slowly steals years. What you delay does not wait for you. It fades. Energy fades. Courage fades. Opportunity fades. The life you want demands presence, not postponement. Delay often hides behind reasonable thoughts. I need to prepare more. I need to be ready. I need one more sign. These thoughts feel smart, but they keep you standing still. Readiness does not come before action. It grows because of action. Confidence does not arrive first. It is built through doing. Waiting for perfect conditions keeps people stuck in average condition. Every day you delay, you practice avoidance. Avoidance becomes habit. Habits shape identity. Soon you begin to see yourself as someone who starts later instead of now. That identity becomes heavy. It drains belief. Breaking delay means breaking identity patterns, not just schedules. Stop delaying does not mean rushing blindly. It means acting honestly. Doing the next right thing, even when it feels small. Small action is better than perfect planning that never leaves the page. Progress respects movement. Many people delay because they fear failing. Failure is not the enemy. Inaction is. Failure teaches. Delay teaches nothing. It only creates regret. Regret grows heavier with time because it is built from unused chances. You already know what you should start. That quiet thought that keeps returning. The book you should read. The call you should make. The habit you should build. The change you should commit to. That thought keeps coming back because it matters. Ignoring it costs more than facing it. Stop delaying also means accepting discomfort early instead of pain later. Early effort feels uncomfortable. Late regret feels painful. Choose discomfort with purpose. It is temporary and productive. Delay often shows up as distraction, endless scrolling, constant entertainment, busy work that avoids real work. Distraction feels active, but produces nothing meaningful. It steals focus and gives nothing back. Attention wasted today becomes opportunity lost tomorrow. The life you want is built in ordinary moments, not someday moments, not when everything aligns. Ordinary mornings, ordinary evenings, ordinary choices repeated. Waiting for a big moment misses the truth. The big moment is built from small ones, handled well. Delaying means treating your goals with respect. If something matters, you schedule it. You protect time for it. You do not squeeze it into leftovers. Priority is shown by action, not words. People delay because they underestimate time. They think there is plenty left. Time feels slow until it is gone. Years pass faster than days. That speed surprises people later. Do not wait until urgency is forced upon you. Create urgency through intention. There is no penalty for starting imperfectly. There is a cost for never starting. Imperfect acting can be corrected. Inaction cannot be shaped. Movement allows adjustment. Delay also comes from comparison. Watching others move faster can freeze you. Comparison shifts focus outward. Progress requires inward focus. Run your own pace. Start your own path. Starting late is still better than never starting. Stop delaying the life you want means deciding that now matters. Not because it is dramatic, because it is effective. The present is the only place where action lives. The future is built here or nowhere. Fear often appears when delay is challenged. Fear is not a sign to stop. It is a sign you are near growth. Fear loses power when faced directly. Avoiding it strengthens it. Facing it weakens it. Your habits are votes for the feaser. Every delayed habit is a vote against the life you say you want. Every completed action, even small, is a vote in favor of it. Votes add up. Stop delaying also means simplifying. Too many goals overwhelm action. Choose fewer goals and act on them daily. Clarity fuels momentum. People delay because they want certainty. Life offers none. Action creates feedback. Feedback creates direction. Direction creates clarity. Clarity never appears first. You do not need more information. You need mere application. Knowledge unused becomes weight. Action releases energy. There is something powerful about beginning before you feel ready. It signals seriousness to your own mind. It builds internal respect. Self-respect grows when actions match intentions. Delay keeps you in planning mode. Planning feels productive, but without execution, it becomes avoidance. Execution teaches faster than planning ever will. Stop delaying means honoring your future self. The person you want to become depends on what you do today. That person cannot act for you. You act for them now. When you begin immediately, something shifts. The mind quiets. Energy increases. Focus sharpens. Momentum starts. Momentum changes everything. The life you want is not hiding. It is waiting for consistent action, not heroic action, honest action, daily action. Stop delaying because waiting is costing you confidence. Confidence grows through follow-through. Follow-through begins with starting now. You are not behind. You are early in the process. If you start today, time lost cannot be recovered, but direction can be changed instantly. Stop delaying the life you want, because wanting without acting creates frustration. Acting even slowly creates peace. Peace comes from alignment, not perfection. This moment is enough to begin, not tomorrow, not next month. Now, begin where you are. Use what you have. Do what you can. That is how the life you want stops being delayed and starts being lived. Number 5. Build consistency before chasing big results. People often chase big results because they want proof that their effort matters. They want visible change quickly. They want something they can point to and say, this is working. That desire is human, but chasing results before building consistency usually leads to frustration. Results come and go. Consistency stays. Consistency is what makes results repeatable instead of accidental. Big results are loud. Consistency is quiet. Big results get attention. Consistency builds foundation. Without a foundation, nothing lasts. Many people experience a short burst of success and then fall back because the habits underneath were never stable. They reached a peak they could not maintain. Consistency solves that problem. Consistency is not about doing more. It is about doing enough, regularly. Enough effort repeated daily outperforms extreme effort done occasionally. Extreme effort feels impressive, but it burns out quickly. Regular effort feels ordinary, but it compounds. Most people overestimate what they can do in a short time and underestimate what they can do in a year of steady action. That misunderstanding creates impatience. Impatience leads to quitting. Quitting resets progress to zero. Consistency avoids that cycle. Building consistency means lowering the barrier to action. If something is too hard to repeat, it will not last. Simplicity supports repetition. Repetition builds reliability. Reliability creates confidence. Consistency also removes emotional decision-making. You do not ask how you feel. You do what you committed to. That saves mental energy. Less arguing with yourself means more forward movement. People often wait for motivation to be consistent. Motivation is unstable. Some days it shows up. Many days it does not. Consistency does not depend on mood. It depends on standards. Standards tell you what you do, regardless of how you feel. Big results are usually the outcome of boring habits done well. Boring does not mean meaningless. Boring means predictable. Predictable effort produces predictable progress. Predictable progress builds trust with yourself. When you focus on consistency, you stop chasing shortcuts. Shortcuts promise speed, but often cut strength. Strength is built slowly. Strength supports longevity. Consistency also reduces pressure. When you expect massive results quickly, you feel stressed when they do not appear. When you focus on showing up daily, pressure eases. You succeed each day by completing the process. Results arrive later as a byproduct. People quit because they confuse slow progress with failure. Slow progress is still progress. Failure is stopping. Consistency reframes success. Success becomes showing up, not winning instantly. Building consistency requires patience with yourself. You are learning how to live differently. Learning takes repetition. Mistakes are part of the process. Missing a day is not a collapse. Stopping entirely is. Consistency grows identity. When you act consistently, you begin to see yourself differently. You become someone who follows through. That identity fuels future behavior naturally. Results without consistency feel fragile. You fear losing them because there is no system holding them up. Consistency creates stability. Stability creates calm confidence. Many people want intensity. Intensity feels powerful. Consistency feels plain. Plain effort, repeated, builds strong lives. Intensity without consistency creates emotional highs and lows. Consistency also builds resilience. When effort tinks, routine setbacks lose impact. You recover faster. You continue instead of restart. You do not need perfect days. You need committed days. Committed days stack quietly. Over time, they produce outcomes that seem sudden to others, but feel earned to you. Building consistency means choosing realistic actions. Goals that require heroic effort every day will fail. Goals that fit into real life will survive. Consistency works because it aligns with how humans actually change. Humans change through repetition, not revelation. Insight helps, but action repeated rewires behavior. When you focus on consistency, you remove the pressure to impress. You focus on progress instead of performance. That creates honesty and ruse. Big results can distract you. You begin chasing applause instead of growth. Consistency keeps attention on the work itself. The work shapes you before it rewards you. Consistency also improves self-respect. You trust yourself because you do what you said you would do. That trust changes how you speak, think, and decide. You build consistency by starting small and staying faithful. Increase later. Growth should follow stability, not precede it. Consistency does not mean rigidity. It means reliability. You adjust when needed, but you do not abandon the process. Results come in waves. Consistency creates the tide that lifts them. Without the tide, results crash quickly. When consistency becomes part of who you are, effort feels lighter. What once required willpower becomes routine. Routine frees mental space for creativity and clarity. Consistency teaches patience. Patience protects long-term vision. Vision without patience collapses. You do not need to prove anything immediately. You need to build something sustainable. Sustainability is built through consistent action. Many people stop because they do not see results fast enough. They forget that roots grow underground first. When growth appears, it looks sudden, but it was worked slowly. Consistency allows learning. When you repeat actions, you notice what works and what does not. Adjustment becomes possible. Without repetition, learning is random. You cannot control when results appear. You can control whether you show up. Control what you can influence. Consistency also reduces fear. Fear thrives in uncertainty. Routine creates certainty. Certainty builds calm. Over time, consistency creates momentum. Momentum reduces effort. What was once hard becomes natural. Build consistency before chasing big results, because consistency is what keeps results when they arrive. Results without consistency disappear. Results with consistency multiply. The strongest progress often feels quiet. Quiet progress is still progress. Trust the process you repeat. If you show up today and tomorrow and the next day, something shifts. Not immediately, gradually. Gradual change lasts. Consistency is not exciting. It is effective. Effective actions shape strong futures. Focus on building habits you can keep. Big results will come when you are ready to hold them. Consistency prepares you for success. So success does not overwhelm you. It trains discipline, patience, and stability. Show up, repeat, adjust, continue. That is how consistency is built. That is how lasting results are earned. Number 6. Choose discipline when motivation fades away. Motivation is a feeling, and feelings are unreliable. They rise and fall without warning. Some mornings you wake up ready to take on everything. Other mornings you feel heavy before the day even begins. If your progress depends on how motivated you feel, then your progress will always be unstable. Discipline is what carries you forward when motivation steps aside. Most people start strong because motivation is high at the beginning. New goals feel exciting. Change feels fresh. Energy feels available. But motivation is not built to last. It was never meant to be the engine. It is only a spark. When the spark fades, discipline must take over, or everything stops. Discipline is not punishment. It is self-respect in action. It is choosing what matters most over what feels easiest. It is doing the work quietly without applause. It is staying committed when nobody is watching and when excitement is gone. When motivation fades, people think something is wrong. They think they lost passion or made the wrong choice. Nothing is wrong. This is the normal stage where growth begins. The moment discipline is required is the moment progress becomes real. Discipline simplifies life. Instead of negotiating with yourself every day, you follow a standard. You already decided what you do. That decision removes stress. Clarity replaces confusion. Consistency replaces chaos. Choosing discipline means you stop asking how you feel before acting. You act because you committed. Commitment is stronger than emotion. Emotion changes. Commitment remains. People often misunderstand discipline. They think it requires force or harshness. Real discipline is calm. It is steady. It does not argue. It does not complain. It simply shows up and does the work. Discipline builds strength slowly. Every time you do what you said you would do, you add a layer of trust with yourself. Trust creates confidence. Confidence creates courage. Courage opens doors. Motivation seeks comfort. Discipline seeks progress. Comfort feels good short-term. Progress feels good long-term. Long-term satisfaction is built through discipline effort. When motivation fades, distractions become louder. Comfort calls more often. Discipline is what protects you in those moments. It reminds you why you started and where you are going. Discipline also protects our future energy. Skipping work today creates more work tomorrow. Avoiding effort now creates pressure later. Discipline prevents that accumulation of stress. Many people wait for motivation to return. They pause their effort and hope the feeling comes back. That pause weakens habits. Habits grow through repetition, not waiting. Discipline keeps habits alive during low energy periods. Habits carried through low motivation become automatic. Automatic behavior requires less effort. Effort decreases over time when discipline is consistent. Choosing discipline also means accepting that some days will feel dull. Dull days still count. Growth is not always exciting. Improvement often feels repetitive. Repetition builds mastery. Discipline trains your mind to follow through. Follow through changes how you see yourself. You stop doubting you're ready to commit. You become reliable to yourself. When you choose discipline, you stop chasing mood. Mood follows action, not the other way around. Action creates momentum. Momentum lifts mood naturally. Discipline gives structure to your day. Structure reduces decision fatigue. When fewer decisions are required, energy increases. Discipline creates freedom by removing unnecessary choices. Many people believe discipline limits freedom. The opposite is true. Undisciplined living leads to chaos and regret. Disciplined living creates options and stability. Discipline is what separates intention from outcome. Intention without discipline stays imaginary. Discipline turns ideas into reality. Choosing discipline means you prepare for days when motivation is absent. You plan simple actions you can complete regardless of mood. Simplicity supports consistency. Discipline also teaches patience. It reminds you that results take time. Time rewards those who stay committed. When motivation fades, doubts often appear. Discipline does not debate doubts. It moves forward anyway. Doubts lose power when ignored. Discipline is built through small wins. Completing small tasks daily strengthens the habit of follow-through. Small wins stack quietly. You do not need to feel confident to be disciplined. Confidence grows from discipline, not before it. Acting despite uncertainty builds belief. Discipline protects you from emotional decisions. Emotional decisions often undo progress. Discipline keeps behavior aligned with values. When discipline becomes routine, effort feels lighter. What once required struggle becomes normal. Normal effort produces extraordinary outcomes over time. Choosing discipline also means forgiving yourself quickly. Discipline is not about punishment. It is about returning to the path without drama. Discipline creates stability in unstable environments. When external conditions change, internal standards keep you steady. People admire discipline because it signals reliability. Reliability builds trust. Trust opens opportunities. Discipline allows growth, even when life feels busy. Busy schedules cannot stop disciplined habits. Discipline adapts. Motivation fades because novelty fades. Discipline thrives because purpose remains. When discipline leads, motivation follows. Energy returns after action. Action creates clarity. Discipline trains your future self. It builds capacity. Capacity allows you to handle greater responsibility. Choosing discipline is choosing long-term benefit over short-term comfort. Comfort feels good now. Benefit feels good later and lasts longer. Discipline also builds mental toughness. You learn that discomfort is temporary. You stop fearing effort. Effort done consistently changes identity. Identity shapes destiny. When motivation fades, discipline keeps the promise alive. Promises kept build pride. Pride strengthens commitment. Discipline helps you finish what you start. Finishing creates closure. Closure creates confidence. Choosing discipline is a quiet decision repeated daily. Quiet as shapes strong lives. Motivation may open the door, but discipline walks you through it. Without discipline, progress stops at the entrance. Discipline does not ask for perfect conditions. It works with what is available. The more you practice discipline, the less you rely on motivation. That independence creates freedom. Discipline is not about intensity. It is about consistency. When motivation fades, remind yourself that this is where growth begins. This is the moment that matters. Choose discipline when motivation fades away. Because discipline is what builds the life motivation only imagines. Discipline carries you forward when feelings step back. It keeps the direction clear. Choose discipline today and tomorrow becomes easier. Choose it again and progress becomes natural. That is how strength is built. That is how confidence is earned. That is how change becomes permanent. Number 7. Grow through pressure instead of escaping. Pressure is not something that appears only when life goes wrong. Pressure shows up whenever you decide to grow. It arrives when responsibility increases. It arrives when expectations rise. It arrives when you step out of what feels familiar. Most people are taught to escape pressure. They look for relief first, instead of learning. That habit keeps growth small. Pressure is uncomfortable because it exposes weaknesses. It reveals habits that are not strong enough yet. It brings attention to areas that need work. Many people take that discomfort as a signal to retreat. But pressure is not a warning to stop. It is information. It shows you where strength needs to be built. Escaping pressure feels good in the moment. You distract yourself. You delay. You lower standards. You avoid difficult conversations. You stay busy with things that feel safe. That relief is temporary. Pressure does not disappear. It waits. When it returns, it is usually heavier. Growing through pressure means staying present when things feel demanding. It means asking, what can I learn here? Instead of how do I get out of this? That question changes the experience. Pressure becomes a teacher instead of an enemy. Most people underestimate their ability to handle pressure because they rarely stay with it long enough to adapt. Adaptation happens only when you remain engaged. The mind adjusts, skills improve, confidence grows, avoidance interrupts that process. Pressure sharpens focus. When things matter, attention increases. Comfort often creates distraction. Pressure brings clarity. It forces priorities. It shows what truly matters and what does not. Growing through pressure does not mean forcing yourself harshly. It means standing steady. It means breathing through discomfort instead of panicking. Calm response builds strength faster than emotional reaction. Pressure often appears when responsibility increases, more work, higher expectations, bigger decisions. Many people resist responsibility because it feels heavy, but responsibility also brings meaning. Meaning fuels effort. When you grow through pressure, you develop emotional control. You stop reacting immediately. You learn to pause. That pause creates space for better decisions. Better decisions improve outcomes. Escaping pressure keeps skills undeveloped. Skills grow only when tested. Pressure tests skills. Without tests, ability stays theoretical. People often say they want confidence. Confidence is built under pressure. It is earned by handling demanding moments without quitting. Each time you stay engaged, confidence increases quietly. Pressure also builds character. Character is revealed when effort is required. Easy situations do not shape behavior. Challenging ones do. Growing through force teaches patience. Results rarely come instantly when pressure is high. Staying steady builds endurance. Endurance allows long-term progress. When pressure arrives, many people distract themselves with noise. Constant input prevents reflection. Reflection turns pressure into insight. Insight guides improvement. Pressure often shows up as uncertainty. You do not know if you are doing the right thing. You do not know the outcome. That uncertainty is uncomfortable. Growth requires moving forward anyway. Escaping pressure often looks like lowering expectations. When standards drop, pressure reduces but growth stops. High standards bring pressure but also progress. Growing through pressure also means accepting temporary discomfort for long-term benefit. Short-term relief delays development. Long-term benefit comes from staying engaged. Pressure reveals priorities. When time feels tight, you see what matters most. Use that clarity to adjust behavior. Pressure simplifies focus. Pressure can feel lonely because others may not understand what you are carrying. That loneliness strengthens self-reliance. Self-reliance builds maturity. Growing through pressure requires trust in the process. Trust that effort compounds. Trust that learning happens even when progress feels slow. Pressure trains decision-making. Under demand, you learn to choose faster and clearer. Those skills transfer to other areas of life. Escaping pressure often leads to regret. Regret builds when you realize you avoided growth opportunities. Staying with pressure builds pride. Pressure also highlights discipline gaps. When routines are weak, pressure exposes them. Strengthening routines reduces future stress. Growing through pressure builds resilience. Resilience is the ability to recover without losing direction. That ability is developed, not inherited. Pressure does not mean something is wrong with you. It often means you are in a season of growth. Growth always stretches capacity. When pressure rises, the mind often looks for escape. Training yourself to stay present changes that habit. Presence reduces anxiety. Growing through pressure means reframing discomfort as temporary. Temporary discomfort creates permanent improvement. Pressure improves problem solving. Under demand, creativity increases. Comfort rarely produces innovation. Escaping pressure keeps life predictable, but limited. Growth expands possibility. Pressure teaches boundary. When demands rise, you learn to protect energy. Energy management becomes essential. Growing through pressure strengthens mental focus. Focus improves performance. Performance builds confidence. Pressure also teaches humility. It reminds you that learning is ongoing. That humility keeps progress alive. When you face pressure without panic, you send a signal to yourself that you are capable. That signal builds belief. Escaping pressure often leads to stagnation. Stagnation slowly erodes confidence. Growing through pressure builds trust in your ability to handle future challenges. Each experience adds capacity. Pressure requires courage. Courage is not loud. It is quiet persistence. It is staying when leaving would be easier. When demands increase, you choose what aligns with your priorities. Growing through pressure does not mean ignoring rest. Rest supports resilience. Balanced effort sustains growth. Pressure approaches habits. Habits either support you or sabotage you. Awareness allows change. Escaping pressure often creates more pressure later. Avoided problems grow. Growing through pressure builds emotional strength. Emotional strength allows steady progress regardless of mood. Pressure is part of meaningful work. Meaningful work builds fulfillment. When pressure rises, remember that growth is not to feel easy. Ease does not build strength. Growing through pressure transforms fear into focus. Focus directs effort. Pressure also improves self-awareness. You learn how you respond under demand. That awareness is valuable. Escaping pressure limits learning. Learning requires engagement. Growing through pressure builds long-term confidence. Confidence built this way does not collapse easily. Pressure teaches adaptability. Adaptability increases survival and success. Pressure reminds you that progress is earned, not given. Growing through pressure means choosing development over comfort. Each time you stay present under pressure, you build internal stability. Stability supports leadership. Pressure strengthens commitment. Commitment holds direction steady. Growing through pressure is how ordinary people become capable. Pressure is not an obstacle. It is a condition for growth. When pressure appears, choose to learn. Choose to stay engaged. Choose to grow. That choice repeated over time builds strength, confidence, and resilience that comfort never can. Number 8, become reliable to yourself first. Before you try to be dependable to the world, you must become dependable to yourself. Everything else rests on that foundation. Many people want respect, trust, and confidence from others, but they quietly break promises to themselves every day. That gap creates inner tension. When your words and actions do not align, you feel it even if nobody else sees it. Becoming reliable to yourself first repairs that gap. Self-reliability is built in private moments. Moments when no one is checking. Moments when quitting would be easy. Moments when delay feels justified. What you do in those moments shapes how you see yourself, and how you see yourself influences every decision you make. When you say you will do something and you do not follow through, you send a message to your own mind. The message says, my words do not matter. Over time, that message weakens confidence. It creates hesitation. You start doubting your own intentions. That doubt slows progress. Becoming reliable to yourself is not about making big promises. It is about making small promises and keeping them. Promises you can honor, even on tired days. When you keep small commitments consistently, trust rebuilds. Trust is the foundation of confidence. People often think confidence comes from success. Confidence actually comes from self-trust. When you trust yourself, you move forward calmly. When you do not trust yourself, you hesitate even when opportunities appear. Self-reliability creates internal stability. You stop relying on mood. You stop waiting for energy. You operate from commitment. Commitment feels steady. Steadiness reduces stress. Many people are reliable to others, but unreliable to themselves. They show up for work. They meet deadlines. They keep appointments. Yet they break personal commitments without hesitation. That imbalance creates burnout. You cannot keep giving externally while neglecting internal integrity. When you become reliable to yourself, you treat your own goals with respect. You stop treating them as optional. Optional goals rarely become reality. Serious goals require consistent attention. Self-reliability changes how you speak internally. You stop saying, I will try, and start saying, I will do. Language matters because it shapes expectation. Clear expectation increases follow-through. Becoming reliable to yourself also means being honest about capacity. Overcommitting sets you up to fail. Choose commitments you can realistically keep. Reliability grows when expectations are aligned with reality. Reliability is built through repetition. One kept promise does not change identity. Repeated follow-through does. Identity shifts slowly through behavior. When you keep your word to yourself, something powerful happens. You feel calm pride, not loud excitement, quiet respect. That respect strengthens discipline naturally. Self-reliability reduces internal conflict. When actions match intentions, mental energy is free. That energy can be used for growth instead of self-criticism. People often chase external validation. Validation feels good but fades quickly. Self-trust lasts. It becomes a steady source of confidence regardless of outside feedback. Becoming reliable to yourself also means forgiving quickly. When you fall short, reliability is not perfection. It is returning to commitment without drama. Harsh self-judgment weakens consistency. Calm correction strengthens it. When you trust yourself, decision-making improves. You do not second-guess every choice. You move forward with clarity. Clarity saves time. Self-reliability also improves boundaries. When you respect your own time, you protect it better. You say no when needed. You choose priorities intentionally. Many people feel scattered because they break focus repeatedly. Reliability requires finishing what you start. Finishing builds momentum. Momentum reduces effort. Becoming reliable to yourself builds patience. You stop demanding instant results. You trust the process because you trust your participation in it. When you trust yourself, you handle pressure better. You know you will show up regardless of conditions. That certainty calms the mind. Self-reliability also strengthens discipline. Discipline becomes natural when promises are honored. There is less resistance. Reliability to yourself improves relationships. When you trust yourself, you communicate clearly. You avoid overpromising. Others sense your steadiness. People who lack self-reliability often seek constant reassurance. When you trust yourself, reassurance becomes unnecessary. Becoming reliable to yourself means aligning daily actions with long-term values. Alignment reduces regret. Regret grows when values are ignored. Reliability is not built through motivation. It is built through consistency. Consistency trains behavior. Behavior shapes identity. Self-reliability also increases resilience. When setbacks occur, you recover faster because you trust your ability to continue. When you break a promise to yourself, acknowledge it honestly. Do not justify. Do not dramatize. Reset and continue. Learning happens through awareness. Becoming reliable to yourself changes how you approach goals. Goals become commitments, not wishes. Commitment demands action. Reliability builds inner strength. Inner strength supports external success. When you trust yourself, you stop comparing constantly. You follow your own pace. Pace matters less than direction. Self-reliability simplifies life. Fewer internal arguments, clear standards, predictable effort. When effort becomes predictable, progress becomes inevitable. Becoming reliable to yourself also means honoring rest. Rest is not avoidance when chosen intentionally. Reliability includes recovery. You do not need to impress yourself. You need to respect yourself. Respect grows through kept commitments. When self-reliability increases, confidence follows naturally. Confidence built this way is stable. Reliability to yourself builds self-leadership. You become someone who can be counted on by yourself first. That self-leadership influences every area of life. Work improves. Health stabilizes. Relationships strengthen. Becoming reliable to yourself is not about control. It is about integrity. Integrity is alignment between word and action. Integrity creates calm. Calm improves focus. Self-reliability also reduces fear of failure. When you trust your effort, outcomes feel less threatening. When challenges appear, you rely on discipline, not emotion. Discipline supports reliability. Reliability compounds. Each kept promise makes the next easier. Over time, reliability becomes part of identity. Identity guides behavior automatically. Becoming reliable to yourself builds pride that does not need applause. That pride fuels continued effort. When you respect your own commitments, others respect them too. Self-reliability builds internal authority. You become the leader of your own life. Leadership begins within. External leadership follows internal leadership. Becoming reliable to yourself first is the most important relationship you will ever build. Every other relationship depends on it. When you trust yourself, you stand differently. You speak differently. You decide differently. That difference is felt even without words. Reliability to yourself creates freedom. Freedom comes from knowing you will follow through. Follow through builds results. Results reinforce trust. This cycle strengthens over time. Become reliable to yourself first, and everything else becomes possible. Start small, stay consistent, keep your word. That is how confidence is built quietly. That is how inner strength is earned. That is how the foundation of a strong life is formed. And that is how real change lasts. Number 9. Act daily like time truly matters. Time is the one thing every person shares, and the one thing no person controls. It moves whether you notice it or not. It does not slow down when you feel confused, and it does not pause when you feel tired. Acting daily like time truly matters. Changes how you live. It shifts how you choose. It sharpens how you focus. When time is treated casually, life becomes casual. When time is treated with respect, life becomes intentional. Most people say time matters, but their actions say otherwise. Hours are spent without awareness. Days pass without direction. Weeks disappear without progress. This does not happen because people are lazy. It happens because time feels invisible when it is plenty. Value is often recognized only when something is nearly gone. By then, adjustment is harder. Acting like time matters begins with awareness. Awareness of how the day starts. Awareness of where attention goes. Awareness of what drains energy and what builds it. Awareness turns autopilot off. Autopilot wastes time quietly. Time is not managed by clocks. It is managed by decision. What you decide to focus on determines how time is used. Focus is a choice. Distraction is also a choice. One builds the future, the other delays it. When you act daily like time matters, you stop postponing important actions. You stop saying later for things that shape your life. Health does not improve later. Skills do not grow later. Relationships do not deepen later. Progress happens now, or it does not happen. People often confuse being busy with using time well. Busy days can still be empty. Full schedules do not guarantee meaningful progress. Meaning comes from intention. Intention directs effort. Acting like time matters means you respect beginnings. How a day begins often decides how it ends. A rushed start creates scattered energy. A calm, intentional start creates direction. When time matters, you prepare instead of react. You plan key actions. You decide priorities. You do not let the day decide for you. Time matters when you protect it. Not every message deserves response. Not every request deserves agreement. Saying yes to everything is saying no to progress. Acting like time matters also means finishing things. Unfinished tasks drain attention. Completion creates clarity. Clarity improves focus. Time matters when you notice patterns. Repeated behaviors show where time is leaking. Awareness allows correction. When time matters, you choose depth over noise. Shallow activity consumes hours without result. Focused effort creates progress. People often underestimate how fast years pass. Days feel long. Years feel short. That contrast surprises people later. Acting daily like time matters prevents that shock. Time matters when you align actions with values. Values guide choices. Choices shape days. Days shape life. Acting like time matters also means resting intentionally. Rest chosen with purpose restores energy. Rest used as escape drains it. When time matters, you stop waiting for ideal conditions. Conditions rarely improve on their own. Action improves condition. Time matters when you learn from each day. Reflection turns experience into insight. Insight guides improvement. Acting like time matters means you stop repeating mistakes without adjustment. Repetition without learning wastes time. Time matters when you reduce unnecessary decisions. Simplifying routines saves mental energy. Energy can then be invested where it counts. When time matters, you stop overthinking small choices. Overthinking delays action. Action creates feedback. Time matters when you recognize opportunity moments. Some moments asks courage. Ignoring them delays growth. Acting like time matters means honoring commitments. Commitments guide behavior. Broken commitments waste potential. Time matters when you choose preparation over procrastination. Preparation reduces stress. Procrastination increases. When time matters, you choose long-term benefit over short-term comfort. Comfort uses time. Benefit multiplies it. Time matters when you focus on progress. Time matters when you focus on progress. Not perfection. Perfection delays movement. Progress builds momentum. Acting like time matters also means knowing when to stop. Overworking without direction wastes effort. Direction gives work meaning. Time matters when you learn to say no without guilt. Guilt steals energy. Clear boundaries. Protect time. When time matters, you invest in skills. Skills compound. Entertainment fades. Time matters when you realize that habits are time containers. Habits decide how hours are spent. Acting like time matters means shaping habits intentionally. Intentional habits reduce wasted effort. Time matters when you treat learning as daily activity. Learning expands options in its control. When time matters, you reduce complaining. Complaining uses time without producing solutions. Time matters when you take care of health. Health supports energy. Energy supports action. Acting like time matters means addressing issues early. Delayed problems grow. Early effort saves time later. Time matters when you choose clarity over confusion. Confusion wastes time. Clarity directs it. When time matters, you stop living in review mode. Regret focuses on past. Action focuses on now. Time matters when you stop waiting for motivation. Motivation wastes time when chased. Discipline saves time. Acting like time matters means choosing consistency. Inconsistent effort requires restarting. Restarting costs time. Time matters when you treat focus as a resource. Scattered focus fragments result. When time matters, you choose quality conversations. Meaningful connection uses time wisely. Time matters when you respect sleep. Rested minds make better decisions. Acting like time matters means planning tomorrow before it arrives. Preparation creates calm. Time matters when you use mornings intentionally. Early hours often hold the clearest focus. When time matters, you reduce multitasking. Multitasking slows progress. Time matters when you act before fear talks you out of effort. Delay feeds fear. Acting like time matters means keeping momentum alive. Momentum reduces effort required. Time matters when you simplify goals. Fewer goals receive more attention. When time matters, you practice gratitude briefly. Gratitude grounds focus. Time matters when you stop scrolling aimlessly. Aimless activity steals hours. Acting like time matters means reviewing how time was spent. Review creates awareness. Time matters when you choose growth over comfort. Repeatedly. When time matters, you act with urgency but not panic. Calm urgency directs effort. Time matters when you treat today as valuable, not replaceable. Acting like time matters changes posture. You move with purpose. Time matters when you recognize that today will never return. When time matters, you respect small moments. Small moments shape big outcomes. Acting daily like time truly matters is not about pressure. It is about appreciation. Appreciation for opportunity. Appreciation for capacity. Appreciation for now. When you act like time matters, you stop drifting and start directing. Direction turns effort into progress. Progress builds fulfillment. Fulfillment comes from living intentionally. Time is already moving. Acting like it matters ensures it moves you forward instead of past you. Number 10. Finish 2026 proud of who you became. At the end of 2026, there will be a quiet moment that no one else witnesses. It will not be posted. It will not be announced. It will simply be you, looking back at the year you lived. In that moment, you will not measure your life by what you owned or what others thought. You will measure it by who you became. Pride does not come from noise. It comes from inner alignment. Finishing 2026 proud of who you became is not about being perfect. It is about being honest. Honest about effort. Honest about growth. Honest about how you handled yourself when things were difficult. Pride is earned when your actions match your values over time. Many people finish years feeling relief instead of pride. Relief that the year is over. Relief that pressure has passed. Relief that nothing worse happened. Pride is different. Pride comes from knowing you showed up. Knowing you tried. Knowing you stayed committed even when progress was slow. Who you become is shaped by daily behavior. Not big moments, not dramatic changes, ordinary decisions repeated, how you spoke to yourself, how you handled responsibility, how you treated people, how you responded to stress. These moments quietly shaped character. Finishing proud means you did not abandon yourself. You did not ignore your standards when it was convenient. You did not shrink when effort was required. You stayed present in your own life. Pride grows when you keep going after excitement fades. It grows when discipline replaces motivation. It grows when you stay consistent without applause. It grows when you act with integrity, even when shortcuts are available. Many people chase achievement and miss character. Achievement can impress others, character satisfies you. At the end of the year, character matters more. It is the part you carry forward. Finishing proud does not require massive success. It requires honest progress. Progress in how you think. Progress in how you act. Progress in how you respond. Small improvements build strong identity. Who you become is also shaped by what you stopped tolerating. Old habits, old reactions, old excuses. Growth requires letting go. Pride comes from knowing you chose better patterns. Finishing proud means you learned from mistakes instead of hiding from them. You adjusted instead of quitting. You took responsibility instead of blaming. Responsibility builds strength. Pride also comes from effort, applied even when results were uncertain. Acting without guarantee builds courage. Courage shapes identity. You become someone stronger when you face discomfort directly. You become calmer when you stop running from pressure. You become wiser when you reflect instead of react. Finishing 2026 proud means you treated time with respect. You did not waste entire seasons distracted. You invested time in growth. Time invested wisely leaves no regret. Who you became also depends on how you treated yourself. Did you speak with patience or criticism? Did you forgive mistakes or punish them? Self-respect influences behavior. Pride grows when you keep promises to yourself. Those promises may be small, but they matter. Each one kept strengthens trust. Trust builds confidence. Finishing proud means you did not live on autopilot. You noticed patterns. You made adjustments. You acted intentionally. Intentional living creates fulfillment. You become proud when you see that you did not wait for ideal conditions. You acted within real life. You worked with what you had. You used effort instead of excuses. Who you became is revealed in how you handled low days. Did you stay engaged or disappear? Did you continue or delay? Low days test commitment. Finishing proud also means you chose growth over growth repeatedly. Comfort offers ease. Growth offers meaning. Meaning lasts. You become proud when you see that your standards improved. You demanded better from yourself calmly, not harshly. Calm standards guide behavior. Pride also comes from patience. You did not rush your growth. You allowed learning. You stayed steady. Finishing proud means you accepted responsibility for your direction. You did not wait for rescue. You led yourself. Who you became is also shaped by how you handled success. Did you stay grounded? Did you continue effort? Did you respect the process? Pride grows when you finish tasks. Builds confidence. Unfinished effort drains energy. Finishing proud means you valued progress over comparison. You focused on your path. You respected your pace. You become proud when you recognize internal change. Stronger discipline. Clear thinking. Better boundary. These changes matter deeply. Pride also comes from resilience. You recovered from setbacks without losing direction. You continued without drama. Finishing 2026 proud means you became more reliable. You followed through. You earned your own trust. Who you became reflects how you handled fear. Did you allow it to decide, or did you act anyway? Pride grows when courage is practiced daily. Courage does not need attention. It builds quietly. Finishing proud means you respected your health. You cared for energy. Energy supports effort. You become proud when you see that your habits improved. Habits shape outcomes. Improved habits signal growth. Pride also comes from honesty. Honest evaluation. Honest correction. Honest effort. Finishing proud means you reduced excuses. You increased ownership. Ownership builds strength. Who you became is reflected in how you spent attention. Attention reveals priorities. Pride grows when you stayed focused on what matters. Focus creates progress. Finishing proud means you honored your values, even when challenged. Values guide identity. You become proud when you see alignment between belief and behavior. Pride also comes from consistency. You showed up often enough to matter. Finishing proud means you accepted imperfection without quitting. Progress continued. Who you became matters more than what you achieve. Achievement fades, identity remains. At the end of 2026, you will not ask if the year was easy. You will ask if you grew. Growth creates pride. Pride creates confidence. Confidence shapes the future. Finishing 2026 proud of who you became means you built a foundation you can stand on. That foundation is discipline, integrity, consistency, awareness, responsibility. Those qualities are not flashy, they are powerful. When you carry them forward, the future becomes manageable. You will walk into the next year with calm certainty, not because everything worked perfectly, but because you became stronger. That pride does not shout, it stays, and it reminds you that real change is possible because you lived it. Finish 2026 proud not of what you collected, but of who you became. That is the kind of success that lasts.